Hey, here's some exciting news. In Visual Grasp version 2020.01, being released in August of 2020, we are excited to let you know that we have included the ability to perform SQL queries within the program. This is, of course, assuming that you're running the SQL version of Visual Grasp. At any rate, this is what the screen looks like. You can see up in this corner its menu location is 1344. So of course, if you're an administrator, you may want to put some security on that screen. At any event, when it opens up, this is what it looks like. And if you are familiar with SQL, this will be a little bit easier for you. If you are not familiar with the SQL, then you can find more information about SQL and SQL SELECT queries from the internet. In any event, we're going to do a real simple one here, and you can use the wizard that's located here on the left-hand side. If we wanted a list of all of our customer names, for example, what we could do is we could go and we could find the database that we want to look at. So if I click on ARCust, and then I want to know their code, if I double-click, I get this prompt, and I do want to select more columns, so I'm just going to select yes. I'm going to double-click on company name. Same thing, I want to select one more column. Maybe I want the city. Now when I click no, it's built the SQL query for me right here. Once again, if you're familiar with SQL, this will look somewhat familiar in there. And then you can change it and apply different settings to it if you want. But in its pure form, you can click on this Run Query button down at the bottom, and it will give you a list of the data that comes out like that. With each query result, you can use one of these three buttons at the top to export the results to either an XML file, a CSV file, or an XLS file. Furthermore, because it's in our program now, what you can do is you can sort the list. So if I want to sort by city name, for example, I can simply click on this column, and you'll notice that the listing order will change. Back to the select statement again. As I said, you can in fact change this, so I can put some additional information in here if you're familiar with SQL. So if I can do where the city is equal to Toronto. And now when I run my query, it will show me only customers in that city that I asked for. So that's how you can use the SQL query that's now built into Visual Grasp. Furthermore, what you can do is you can save your queries. So for example, if I just click New here, and I don't want to save this one, but I've already saved one here where I had an invoice listing. What's really interesting about this one is I've used these tokens down here. So ordinarily, I would have to put a date in. Or normally I would have to type a query that would look something like this. And these would be my date range basically for the year of 2017 in this case. And if I run the query here, this would list all of that detail out, and I could export that. But if this is a query that I'm going to use quite often, instead of having to put these dates in all the time, what I can do is I can replace them with tokens. And then it's easier, I can enter my dates down here. So I'm just going to put this back to the way that was. And once I've used the tokens here, which I can then enter the values for those dates I want to use for the query down in this section. So for example, if I want to choose this particular date range, those date values will be replaced in my query statement automatically whenever I run it. So that's the new query. Okay, so that's the new query tool that's built into Visual Grasp version 2020.01.